Ladies and boys, Andy here, author of the best Tinder guide on the internet and recent recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award. This is the Kill You're in a Loser show. Let's fucking go. I'm joined by my co-host, Imogen, otherwise known as Imogen, and we're going to talk about the 6 worst dating tips that men ever get.
Mm-hmm. Definitive,
absolute definitive list, all 6. There are no more than this. Let's fucking do it. What is number 1?
Is that guys need to take girls on dinner or movie dates or just big extravagant dates.
Disgusting. I fucking hate that advice. The notion of a dinner date in 2020, what year is it? 2021? Almost 2022. Mm-hmm. The notion of a dinner date is just like dead. Please, guys, if you take a girl on a dinner date, remember one of my friends said that he took his girlfriend on a dinner date.
I mean, we go out to dinner
like first date was the dinner date, and it's it's too much. It's just when we don't live in those times. I get that that's cute. If you want to go and grab a bite to eat, sure, fine, whatever. But like, don't make it a fucking dinner date. We're talking about a dinner date. Keep it more casual. Movies are even worse. Like, please, can I sit in a fucking quiet place where we can't talk for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and just exist next to each other? And then like, why?
That feels very high school.
It's like a child's way of doing a date, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you want some date ideas, go for a fucking walk together. Go grab a Starbucks and go for a walk. Go sit in a park and fucking comment on people who walk past and judge them and tell your fucking date how they all look like, I don't know, fucking weirdos.
I mean, ultimately, if you want to be the wine and dine type, like if you enjoy that, I mean, go for it. I think the idea is that you don't have to do that. Girls don't expect that. It can be very
I would
casual.
recommend just not doing that. That's my advice. If you want to ignore that advice, fine, have at it. Do whatever the fuck you want. But it's so much pressure for the chick. It really is. And I've had a ton of chicks say this. Dinner dates feel like pressure to me. It feels like there's an expectation I have to give it up. I have to have sex. Like it puts me in a combative mood, or I'm in a combative mindset now, thinking like, oh, I can't give it up too easy. And he's probably expecting sex because he wined me and dined me. You know, It's just too fucking much. It's unnecessary. It's hard to chill over dinner. You're both eating fucking food. You're facing each other. It's hard to just chill and relax. We're talking about a first date here, remember?
We've always made this point when we see girls.
Mm-hmm.
We like to go to a bar to grab a drink first.
Mm-hmm.
We always make a point of finding a bar where we're not sitting opposite each other at a table. We like to find somewhere that has a couch where we can kind of all sit in a row. Because it feels, we've made that joke with girls that it feels very interview-like.
It does. It feels like you're sitting opposite, like you're grilling each other or something.
Yeah, like they go to sit opposite us, and then we like make the joke of like it's like a little faux interview.
Yeah, just sit next to people. Go on a fucking drinks date, a Starbucks date. Go for a walk date. Go do something cool if you want. Have a cool activity. Do something fun if you want to. You don't have to do that shit. I really don't recommend dinner or movie dates. They're just too formal. They're too archaic. If you think the idea is like cute and fun and quirky and you want to do it, fine. Just don't do it on the first fucking date. Yeah, that's what we're saying here. Second, worst dating tip that men get is this idea that you need to build comfort or build rapport before a girl will sleep with you. Shit fucking advice.
I mean, it's worth having a conversation with them to...
Oh, for sure. But this is specifically the advice that you need to build rapport. A girl needs to be comfortable before she'll sleep with you. Absolutely not fucking true. Out of the last 20-something girls that we've slept with, how many were comfortable before we fucked them?
I don't like the word comfortable because it makes it sound like they were uncomfortable. But they were nervous.
Okay, the girl that we slept with most recently in the bedroom specifically was very fucking nervous, wasn't she? Uncomfortable. That wasn't comfort. Sure. I didn't make sure she was comfortable. She was by definition not comfortable.
I would like to caveat and say that we do the baseline
I like having uncomfortable sex with girls. I like girls being uncomfortable.
Making sure we actually chat to them.
Don't give that fucking comfort, that fucking caveat. You're ruining the... Look, the point here is short. But the point here is you do not need to build comfort. A girl does not have to be comfortable before she will sleep with you. If she is comfortable, that's great. But sex by definition can often be very uncomfortable. You're nervous. You're trying to do a good job for each other. You don't know what each other are going to look like. You're about to do something very fucking vulnerable. She doesn't know if you're going to like her body. She doesn't know if you're going to have a big dick, a small dick, no dick, 8 dicks, 7 dicks. Like, she doesn't know how many dicks there are down there. You don't know what she looks like. That's not comfort. Comfort is what happens after you sleep with each other.
Sure.
Then you're comfortable. Rapport is what you do after you fucking get to know each other. You don't have to go on 7 dates and build rapport. You don't have to text for weeks before she'll meet with you. It isn't necessary. If you want to do that stuff, have at it. You're wasting your own fucking time, but have at it. You can do that shit on the fucking date, or you can do that shit after you've slept with each other. Number 3, worst dating tips ever. Don't be vulnerable. We kind of said this because we did a previous episode on bad advice for women. We said kind of the same thing. That the bad dating advice is don't be vulnerable or don't be honest. You know, you kind of want to hold back a little bit and like have this alpha male game. You want to have game. You want to do that kind of shit.
Yeah, but I think in reality, a lot of women and a lot of like female friends that I've spoken to wish that guys were a little bit more emotionally available.
Yeah.
And that they would actually have a talk about certain issues or how they're feeling, but will instead say that like, oh, he was very closed off and like I feel like I can't talk to him about XYZ.
I can't get through. I don't actually know what he fucking thinks or what he feels.
Yeah, I mean, how many girls have daddy issues because
for sure, because daddy does
male
that shit.
father figures aren't emotionally available because they don't ever want to be vulnerable or just tell you how they're feeling. It's this kind of closed off stoic like facade, I guess, that's being put on. And I mean, I know it's something that the red pill kind of states, is that if you ever let that alpha male masculine facade drop, that she'll leave you instantly. Like, that's bullshit. And
of course, for sure.
Yeah.
There was an article I did, or maybe it was a podcast. I'll leave a link in the description below, called How to Be Vulnerable While Still Being Masculine. And when I say vulnerable, I'm not talking about have a fucking breakdown. I'm not talking about like, oh, you know, I'm just a pussy and blah, blah, blah. I'm not talking about that shit at all. I'm talking about how to just fucking be real. You know what I mean? Just how to be fucking honest. Mark Manson is another good guy to go to. His book Models is pretty good for this stuff. His website's pretty good. You can be fucking real. You can be honest. You can not play games and do all this sort of bullshit. Like, you don't have to hold everything fucking inside. Number 4. Bad dating advice that you need to play games or lie to women. So kind of a play on the previous one. Women get told this too, that you got to play these fucking games. You got to have text game. You got to do this. You got to do that. Here's the fucking correct way to talk to a woman. Here's what, if she says this, do this. If she shit tests you, make sure you say this or she'll think you're a fucking beta male pussy cuck.
Yeah,
like just these fucking games. And I think some people get into these games because they like the games.
Sure, and it's more entertaining or engaging. Compared
Feels like
to
thrill of the hunt.
Yeah. Whereas I think when, at least personally, when I'm like texting girls that we see together, it's not, texting is not exciting. It's usually just like the admin of like, hey, I had fun. When are we going to next meet up? When are you next free?
It's like logistics, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think someone good to go to on this is Caleb Jones, Black Dragon. I forgot where I was fucking going with that point. Okay, so he talks about the thrill of the hunt. Some people are thrill of the hunt guys, as in they genuinely enjoy texting. They enjoy like fucking, in my mind, wasting several weeks fucking texting. They enjoy that kind of shit. I wrote an article called Why Pickup Artists Are Theatrical Wizards Who Don't Actually Want to Get Laid. And that was one of the points that I made in there. A lot of pickup artists just want to play the fucking games. They want to be like a theatrical wizard. They want to say my text game is like fucking wizardry. Like, look how good I am at this shit. For those guys, I even said in the article, and Caleb even says this, Caleb Jones says this, if you like games, if you like tricking women, or if you like kind of just like playing with women, like gaming, then have at it. Like, that's great. It's good that you found something you enjoy. But I suspect, and Caleb Jones suspects the same thing, most men are not like that. Most men just want easy fucking sex. They just want to get laid. They want a fucking girlfriend. They don't want to play the games. They want honesty. They want to just be able to say what they feel, and the girl will just say like, okay, here's what I feel, and you can just fucking talk like adults. That is what most people want. And the problem comes when pickup artists and people like that push this notion of game, text game, let me game. You got to game women. How's your game? Your game is solid, bro. Look at that rock solid fucking game. It's not necessary. You don't have to fucking game women. You can just say the fucking truth. Again, Mark Manson, his book Models, talks about this shit. A bunch of other people talk about this shit. Good Looking Loser talks about this shit. I talk about this shit. You can just say how you feel. You don't have to play these fucking games. You don't have to lie or pass a shit test. You can literally, if a girl shit tests you, which by the way is a fucking insult, if a girl insults you and you want to call it a shit test, right there and then you stop and you go like, whoa, like, why are you saying that? What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
How come you're being weird?
That or it's a genuine question and they're like, oh my God,
I
it's a
know.
shit test. They're just
Sometimes
like, oh,
guys
how much
think-
of experience have you had? And they're like, it's a shit test.
Yeah. A girl will be like, what are we going to have for dinner? And the guy's like, she's shit testing me. It's like, it's not a shit test, bro. So, number 5, worst advice that men get is this idea that you can be a loser and women will still love you if you just wait. Like Miss Right will come along, you know, guys who are, and it's often women who say this, where a guy's in a bad situation and he's like, oh, I'll never, you know, I can never find a woman. And she's like, you know, you'll find the right woman someday.
Yeah. I think it's also like the add-on is always like, you're a really nice guy.
Yeah, you're a nice
like,
guy.
You'll find a really like lovely girl who will see that. Not me,
Yeah.
but like.
Not me, because I actually have standards, but I'm sure there's some like fat old porker out there who would like put up with you or whatever. Like, because you are kind of shit. But like, you'll find that woman if you just fucking wait. Don't change anything. Don't work on yourself. Don't improve yourself. Don't lose the 70 pounds you need to lose, you fat fuck. But just wait.
Yeah, and we said this in the video about women as well. Like the same thing of like the right guy will just come.
Magically.
I think it is this like general societal of like everyone is acceptable and perfect and
Yeah.
beautiful and you like it's that settling for complacency. that
Everyone's getting
is
soft. They're all soft and
horrific
fat.
like dating advice because it means you don't like the person that you're with. If they've
Yeah.
got no drive, no motivation, it's almost like you're just putting up with each other. I mean,
Yeah.
I can see it being a big reason for why a lot of marriages, relationships fail.
Yeah, for sure. It's two people who are average as fuck by definition and don't really have any goals, don't have any drive, don't care about self-improvement, don't want to be better, just are happy to cruise.
And you're both almost trying to deny reality. And you're like,
Yeah.
no, I'm meant to be loving and accepting this person, but I don't.
But I
And
don't
now
because
feel
they're fat and
guilty,
they're gross and they're boring.
And now I'm resentful. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. And when I say the word loser, what I mean by that is, you know, you can have no ambition, you can be kind of depressed, you can be fat, you can have no goals, you can have a shitty body, you can dress like shit. How many guys dress themselves like shit? They have so much potential, but they just dress like shit. You can, you know, never have stepped inside a gym, you can have no friends, but you're still lovable. There is a woman out there for you. And it's like, I'm really sorry. I'm going to be the first person to tell you this in your whole fucking life. No. You don't just deserve a woman. I'd say the same to women. You don't just deserve a man. You can't just be a fucking mess of a human being and expect that if I just wait, I will find the right girl. Now, you will find a girl.
Yeah.
I think we agree with that. But guess what? She's going to be exactly like you. And as you just said, you're not going to respect her long term. You're probably not going to respect her in the short term. You're going to be grateful that she even chose to give you any attention. But is that really a position that you want to be in? I'm not speaking to guys that want a girl who puts up with them for the rest of their life. Like, those people shouldn't be watching my content. We're going for something a little more real here, a little more impressive, a little more elite. You're going for a chick that you look at and you say, she's a fucking badass. I respect the fuck out of her. I've said this to you before. I look at you and I'm like, yeah, she's a fucking badass. Like, that's what we're going for here. So improve yourself. Don't be a fucking loser. Find an ambitious woman if that's what you want. Find a fucking, you know, really fucking hot chick if that's what, whatever it is, find that woman. But you have to improve yourself to get to that point. You can't just sit there and not improve yourself and say, as I am right now, I should. That's like sitting on a fucking pier or going in a boat in the middle of the ocean and saying, I don't have a fishing rod, but if I just wait, I should catch a fish. And it's like, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a 1 in a million chance a fish will jump into your boat.
Accidentally, yeah.
But like,
yeah. And if it does, it's like probably not going to be the fucking fish you wanted.
Yeah.
And even if it is, cool. Like, but that one fish isn't going to. That was a terrible fucking analogy, but whatever. Number 6. So the terrible advice is you can win any woman over if you just say the right words. Like, any woman.
I think the worst example of this is, I mean, we've seen it in clickbaity articles and YouTube videos and a million other things. It's like how to get the girl with a boyfriend. It's just
She has
like,
a boyfriend. How to win her over with your words.
Yeah, and it's like, no, like.
Now, to be clear, some girls with a boyfriend, if you were to say the right thing, you might be able to convince her for sure. I'm not denying that. But the bad advice is that you can win any woman or the majority of women or 99% of women if you just say the right thing. It's like if you were in a sales job and they were like, if you just can get really good at sales, you'll be able to convert everyone. And it's like, you can get better at sales, of course. You can get better at winning women over by just being more confident. I would say just fucking practice. But it's this notion, this terrible advice that let's frame it in the colliery. So the other bad advice there is if you didn't win a woman over, it's because you said something wrong. That's how it's usually phrased. It's not usually phrased as you can win every woman over. It's usually said as, if you didn't sleep with her, you must have done something wrong.
Yeah.
You must have said the wrong thing, done something wrong. You're not attractive enough. Good Looking Loser has this really good article called Sexually Unavailable for Unexplained Reasons. And he lists out like fucking 70 reasons why a girl might not sleep. He just brainstormed them. She's on her period. Her cat just died. Her friend is sad. She watched a sad movie. She doesn't like guys who come up to her on the street because that's weird. She just got her heart broken. She watched a movie about someone getting her heart broken. It's Tuesday and she doesn't sleep with guys on Tuesday. She's got exams coming up. How many times have girls said to us, like, I can't meet you because I have fucking university exams? It's Christmas. Her family might judge her. She's conservative. This. We could come up with 100 different reasons that aren't you doing anything wrong. She just was never going to sleep with you. Or maybe at this point in time, she wasn't going to sleep with you. But there is this notion, especially in the pickup world, of guys saying, if you just say the right thing, or if you didn't sleep with her, you did something wrong. You need to go back, you need to study, you need to buy my fucking book, you need to pay me more money, and we can teach you how to win those girls, especially girls with a boyfriend.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think it is very appealing that if you just say the right things, you can like buffer against rejection. You won't get rejected as long as you just study hard enough and learn the right, like how to say the right things. You learn all of the game. Because rejection is scary and it sucks, and it's not sexy to be told that you're going to get rejected and it's going to feel shitty. Sorry, this is part of the process. And yeah, when you get told like that, it's terrible advice that if you say the right things, you don't have that. That's
you get to avoid rejection.
Lie.
It is a lie, isn't it?
Yeah.
We talked about this today, didn't we?
Yes.
That there are a lot of charlatans out there that sell guys on the idea that if you just say the right thing, if you buy my book, if you say this script, if you get really good at just memorizing how to overcome every shit test and every objection, that you can just avoid rejection. Or that if you get rejected, it was because you didn't read my book, you didn't study hard enough. I like to teach philosophies, and a lot of my concepts are philosophies. Like I teach you the thinking behind, rather than here's exactly what to do, because that doesn't help you. You'll need to keep coming. If I tell you just what to do, you'll need to keep following me for the rest of eternity until I teach you everything. That's not very good for your long-term development, is it? So what I teach you is like, here's how to think rather than what to think. And one of the philosophies that I teach is it's okay to suck. It's okay to make some mistakes. It's okay to not always have the perfect words. In fact, and Good Looking Loser taught this as well, you can sleep with girls while fucking up. Like you can not have the right words. You can be clumsy as shit. You can even literally say to her, I'm really nervous. I don't know what to say. This is fucking awkward. And you can still sleep with those girls. You don't have to be fucking perfect. Now, does being better at talking and better at communicating help? Of course it fucking does. Like, duh. I think everyone in the world would agree with that. But I see too many guys in the pickup world teaching guys like, you have to be perfect, you have to memorize all this, don't fuck it up. And guys get neurotic, they get in their own head, they sit there thinking, anytime a girl didn't sleep with me, it's because I'm a failure, I said something wrong, I should have done better, blah, blah, blah. And that can be a positive mindset, like always trying to improve. But I see too many guys go way down that rabbit hole of like, I'm bad, I'm doing wrong, instead of accepting, and that's why I teach it, you are going to make mistakes. You're going to fuck up. You don't even know what a mistake is. How many girls have you slept with? If you've slept with like none, you're going to fuck up 1,000,000 times. So it's much easier for me to teach you, don't stress so much about what to say. I can give you some tips and teach you a little bit of what to say. But for the most part, just fucking get in there. Make some mistakes, learn from them, go and talk to another girl and another and another and another. And stop obsessing about getting it right with that one woman. Because remember, you have unlimited tries. There's 50 billion more women out there for you.
Yeah.
All right, so those are the 6 worst dating tips for men.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get you to wrap up the video. What do these lovely gentlemen need to do with their lives? What do they need to do with their lives, Miss Imogen? You tell them. You've got the spotlight. Go.
You need to go out there and crush your goals.
I second that. Go crush your fucking goals, you pussies.